New at 11, Chesapeake Police Chief Kelvin Wright is getting ready to retire. His last day is Sunday.
He announced the decision back in April. Tonight in council chambers, Wright received a high honor in recognition of his 40 years on the force. Angelique Arentalk was there and reports on two other local cities who are also looking for new top brass.
Chief Colonel Kelvin Wright marks the end of his 40-year run with the Chesapeake Police Department.
A key to the city of Chesapeake.
Starting off as a patrolman and working his way up as chief of police, he tells me he's most proud of the connections he and his force have built with the communities of Chesapeake.
People who have been disenfranchised, marginalized, people who don't necessarily think of the police as their friend, I think that's our biggest accomplishment.
Wright says he feels confident about the crime prevention strategy in place.
But it still takes a great deal of intense policing and good relationships with the community to make sure that we are indeed meeting the need and reducing crime.
A Chesapeake City spokesperson says there's no specific timeline for selecting the new top cop. Meanwhile, Deputy Chief Mark Zaleski serves as acting chief. In two neighboring cities, searches for new police leadership are also underway. In April, Larry Boone announced his sudden retirement as Norfolk Police Chief. He hung up his hat just weeks later. It could be October by the time we learn who will take over. In Portsmouth, former Chief Renato Prince's firing earlier this month followed controversial exits by former Chief Angela Green in 2020, as well as former Chief Tanya Chapman in 2019. Chapman is now back in office, but as city manager, she fired Prince. When you look across the board, Hampton Roads is no stranger to turnover. The longest serving person as police chief in the 7 cities right now is Steve Drew of Newport News, and he's only been in that position since July 2018. Angelique Arentalk, 13 News Now.
Chief Kelvin Wright's retirement takes effect on Monday.
He says for the first time in his life, he has no plans.